What is going on, comic book gang? My name is Jancy, aka You're the Collector, and I'm back again with another episode of Thoughts and Reviews. This time, I'm going over Uncanny X-Men #1 by Gail Simone, David Marquez, Matt Wilson, and Clayton Cowles. Really quick here, Uncanny X-Men is part of the relaunch of all the X-Men titles in this what is called now the From the Ashes era. If you're not aware, the X-Men just went through a long lasting era that's been dubbed the Krakoa era, and it was started by Jonathan Hickman a few years ago. That era of the X-Men just concluded in the summer of 2024, and Marvel kind of like not rebooted, not restarted, but just relaunch all the titles from a #1 issue for everybody to kind of jump in and start reading the X-Men. Because let's face it, if you wanted to read anything X-Men, you either was gonna have to start from the beginning of Jonathan Hickman's work, or you was just gonna accept the fact that you was not gonna have all the context, you was not gonna know all the characters or what was the new status quo, and you was just gonna have to like read it for what it was. And for people like me, that's just not an option, right? Like, I need to know the context, I need to know the backstory, I need to know how we got to a certain points. And it was kind of daunting for a lot of people to jump on the X-Men. However, I will say from my experience so far that the From the Ashes era is very new reader friendly. There's not a lot of baggage carried into the new series, and it's a perfect jumping on point for anybody that that was waiting to get started on the X-Men. Now, with that caveat being said, let's get on with it. Why fight when there's nothing left? That is the premise Anna Marie, aka Ro, asks herself in this new story. No Krakoa, no Araco, no home, no X-Men, no more hope for Xavier's dream. What now? How do you pick yourself up and keep going after losing everything? More importantly, why? Why continue to be an X-Men? Why fight for Xavier's dream of peace and cohabitation between mutants and humans? The answer, in my interpretation, is that you must continue no matter what, if not for yourself, maybe for those who look up to you, those who count on you in their moment of need. Ro, Gambit, and Wolverine found out the hard way that they may not feel like heroes because of their recent failures and losses. They may not be calling themselves the X-Men right now at this moment in time, but to others, they are that, heroes, X-Men, and much, much more. And this is, I believe, the theme that Gail Simone was trying to push in this story, right? It's gonna come back around, especially to Anna Marie, that all these feelings that are valid, like she's grieving. The X-Men had it all, right? They had their own country, they had their own government, they had the dream and they lost it, right? Not to their own fault, but still. And it's 100% valid for Ro to be grieving, to be feeling like a loser, to be feeling like a failure, to be feeling like they gave it a try, it didn't work, maybe they should do something else, maybe it was never meant to be. But you will see that even though they're feeling these emotions of an imposter syndrome, that sometimes you just need a little perspective from others to remind you of who and what you are, right? Let's continue here. Gail Simone managed to give everyone here their voices along with great character work. Gambit, for example, makes a deal with a dragon called Saduran that will definitely be brought back in the future. That was pretty wild. They were fighting this dragon, and Gambit, as the king of thieves, this Cajun king of thieves that he is, he ended up stealing the left eye of Agamotto from this dragon. That gave them leverage to kind of like make a bargain with this dragon so it would leave them alone. It was pretty crazy. On the other hand, Nightcrawler is the rock of this group. Everybody can lean on him. Rogue is charming, lovely, caring, and just so human. She may have been restricted from physical touch in the past. That seemed to allow her to be so in tune with her thoughts and emotions. Like, Rogue's emotions and feelings just pour out of every page. You can feel her sadness through the writing and the art. It's beautiful. Wolverine, on the other hand, is so steady, so vigilant and aware. He still doesn't like Cyclops, and I love that. I don't know why. When I say aware, there are moments where Wolverine's trying to like say something or convey an idea or a message, and the others don't realize what he's trying to do. And then there's another occasion where he is the first to sense that there's an emergency with this ill child that I'm going to talk about here in a second. And that's kind of like part of his character, right? Like the sniffing, the awareness of his surroundings. Gail Simone like put that in there subtly, but it's there, right? Like Wolverine is the first one to pick up on things. That's very important for his character, that have those abilities shine through, even if it's subtle. There's a scene in a hospital room with a kid named Harvey X that definitely kept me up at night when I read it. Harvey X is this child the X-Men paid a visit to, like kind of like a Make-A-Witch situation. He wasn't just a mutant, he was a big fan of the X-Men. And this is sort of like bringing it back to what I was saying before about the message of this book. Like, these guys don't feel like the X-Men. These guys feel like, they lost everything. They have nothing. They're losers. They, turn the page and move on to something else and carry on with their lives with all this grief and suffering. But to this kid who is ill, who is terminal, who got picked for a Make-A-Witch situation, he is just, over the moon to meet them, because to him, they are heroes. They are his heroes. That's what I was saying before about perspective. Unfortunately, Harvey didn't make it, but at least he managed to meet his heroes before passing. And that is something that will weigh heavily on them, especially on Anna Marie. Listen, every single panel carried this story for miles. Like, everything just looks beautiful. It has this soft touch around the outlines that is just easy on the eyes. Gail Simone and David Marquez and Matt Wilson are clearly all in the same page for this. Finally, at the end of this issue, we have the introduction to a new group of mutants who will be named the Outliers. More to come about this Rags and Tags group, because as of issue 1, this is all we get. They were being hunted by some unknown people, and they found their way into Louisiana to where the X-Men are, right? They just literally come out of the woods asking for help. And again, this is like another way by Gail Simone to say, hey, Anna Marie, I know you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, but you are an X-Men, even if you don't feel like it. Look at these kids. Unknown, complete strangers in need of help are seeking for the X-Men. And to them, that is you, Anna Marie. That is you, Remy. That is you, Logan. Again, the message of this book is like, maybe you don't feel like you're hot shit right now, but to others, you are. If you just need a little reminder, here it is. Anna Marie, Remy, Logan, Jubilee, Nightcrawler, all of them, they had the dream. They have the life. They have everything that they always wanted, right? According to Xavier's dream. And they lost it. And they're now in the swamps in the middle of nowhere of Haven, Louisiana. And even at their lowest, people still think the world of them. And that's a very powerful message right there. I'm gonna leave you with that. Like I said before, if you was waiting for a jumping moment to get started on the X-Men, Uncanny X-Men is my recommendation to you. Easy on the eyes, it's new reader friendly, it's all reader friendly, it's just great all around. Since we are, I want to say like 15 issues in at the time of me recording this, I thought it was a perfect moment to start talking about it. Let me know in the comments if you're reading it, if you like this series, if you like the Outliers, if you like the fact that you have a couple of different X-Men teams. Like, let me know your thoughts. And with that being said, my name is Janxi, aka You're the Collector. Thank you for watching. You have a blessed day, and remember to read more comics.